Hi guys, this is how I see it, mate. Just giving you an insight to, I guess, to my business and other things that I've been involved in, especially being online for the last 23 years. Easy, from Melbourne. When I come back from my uni years, I studied at Melbourne University and at Swinburne and at Monash. Also here in Sydney, New South and UTS. So the career that I've had is quite different to many. There have been struggles, like I remember having, shoes that I'd walked all over Sydney trying to look for work and stuff like that. So it's just really hard to get at the time. But you gotta be positive, upbeat. I was able to do a lot of different things for a lot of different people, from Zoocom to Zoo Communications. So through that was on York Street, and I think that's probably when I hit the big time with Edward Spencer, and he was the creator. We were the creator of the Oz. Was it Aussie Mail logo and stuff like that. So we really got a really good I think DTA was looking at the Design Institute of Australia had awarded us over that particular invention, and I think that's where it all started. And now iiNet own it and all those sorts of things. So I guess as a graphic web developer, I've always been in looking at web development and websites and web applications. So I got like the banks, I got so many different institutions, even SAO Global. I've been part of a lot of different information systems, and it's been great. I've had about 23 years of pretty good career in different industries and stuff like that. I don't see this moment in time as a way of saying, okay, this is the end of Australia, or this is the end of technology. I think this is the start of a new type of technology out there, and a lot of the implementations that I've helped in terms of online development, online learning, different systems, scanning systems, and whether it be monetary, or whether it be for security, biohazards, and all those sorts of things. I've been involved in a lot of that sort of stuff. So you got to be headstrong. 23 years, and working with people like Mark Burris and David Thoherty, now who chairs the CSIRO. Work with these great leaders. I think I've got what it takes to lead some teams in this, especially in these times. This is why I'm with Lorgan, and with Lorgan, we've partnered with a lot of different companies, investors. We're at the forefront of helping with cancer burns. So we've got a machine that helps with the cancer burns. It's already been about $8 to $10 million have been thrown at it by the government. Working well in University of Wollongong. So it's not like I think I'm part of some very good teams. I think coming out of Monash and out of Swinburne and UTS, I've been very lucky to have a lot of colleagues behind me and backing me up every year. And do I go back to study? I don't know. I don't think so. I've studied so much. I'm I'm out here in industry. If I've got to go back to uni, I'll go back and teach. I've taught about 8 to 9 years of teaching, solid teaching out there for the private colleges, universities like Central Queensland University. I'm always open to a lot of different things. So I think not just design, but teaching design and teaching informatics, all sorts of things, even the online teaching. And I'm happy to help those that are looking at making their businesses better. all those sorts of things. I think is very important. Not many people have experience with Mark Burris and David Doherty, and to name another, a couple of other bosses. So bosses that are with PwC that are working on Wall Street. These are the sort of systems that I help build. Be it good, bad, ugly, great, brilliant. They took me on, and I was able to deliver at the best of my ability, at the best of my time there. So I think now university students coming out, and high school students, it's going to be a big of a challenge for them. I think industry may not open up to everybody like they used to. You've either got to have, amazing grades. I think in one part is fair and one part is not fair. I think I've been lucky enough to have awesome grades in the past. I'm probably highly intelligent in the sense that I was very bright at what I used to do, and this is where I was able to succeed at the best of my ability. I've been very lucky. I've got my own home. Don't need to don't need to worry about the banks and all those sorts of things. Um, I think we're all paying bills, obviously, and no matter what you're doing, but the income's coming in. Just it's going to be hard. The hard 6 months, hard year. I think that there's a new John Rossetti, a bearded John Rossetti. So there's a lot of change. I think I've got to reinvent myself, as well as the other 65 million people out there are reinventing themselves. We're almost doing a whole Madonna thing, reinventing yourself. But as a designer, as an artist, I've lived through so much shit. When I was penniless, and I'm very lucky. I'm doing pretty good. Um, and I wish the best for everyone else. So, but to be honest, I've got really cool systems out there. People can invest in them. Probably the time right now, everyone's like at a halt. We're waiting on government to fund these investors so that they can go and invest in some of the stuff that we've gone and developed. This is something that we need to look at. If industry is going to fail, it's going to fall on its back. How to avoid that shit? You can't. If this is the worst that we've got and we've got no industry, I think that unemployment won't be just at 10% unemployment. I think they're saying that 90% of the people are working. Hard to believe. I was looking at Seek. I was looking at different applications and things like that. There's virtually, I would say, about 90% of the Seek ads are disappearing. There's probably about 10. And there's probably about maybe 600 people going for that one job. Actually, 60. I meant 600 people going for that one job. So I'm not in the business of actually going for work in that sense that I'm going to work for someone else. What happens is I've already got the products, so people got to come to me to buy the products, and they've got to go for subscriptions. So we're giving them the license, we're giving them the subscriptions at the AI company. I think subscriptions and things, this is something, do people have the money to be able to subscribe for the next 6 months in hardship? This is where the key is. So if they can't, then, not that it doesn't make us screwed, but the money's got to move, mate. And like you got landlords, and you got your tenants, and you got your banks. Every industry is going to be screwed in that sense that we've all got to come to the table. We've got to discuss how we're going to get out of this shit, all over a freaking virus. Um, I think that if businesses were equipped and they were purely online, we wouldn't have this crap. So, why is communication? Why is the physical need of a being in a office really, really needed? Yes, it is. We can communicate this way. Sometimes there's a two-way communication, three-way communication, group communication. We do have that technology. Some businesses don't choose to go this way because they're not able to bluff the person in order to get the deal and sign up for the deal. I think things are more transparent, and that's just personal because people are trying to sell a buck. I've had so many people in LinkedIn, especially. I love LinkedIn, but I don't like people, approaching me on the email and saying, "Oh, yeah, I've got this great deal, blah blah blah. Have you tried this? Have you tried cryptocurrency?" The amount of cryptocurrency crap that I get, my God, it's shitting me now. Things get magnified, during this period, and so the thing is, just take it easy, cryptocurrency, Jesus, But apart from that, the technologies are doing all right. I'm getting my teams regularly. We're in regular communication. What can we do? What more can we do? People are either saying, "Oh, well, we're going to hold back on the website." "Oh, no, no, we're too late." So there's what can we do? We're here to help. Um, people need to know that as technicians and as technical people in the AI and in IT industry, we're here for people that are looking at how are we going to succeed, and how are we going to move forward. If they don't use our services, their services are screwed. They'll be unemployed. They will have to go on the dole. And our systems. So if we're, as a business, we'll have to go for the job keeper package. So not only staffers, but senior, executives and directors would have to go on this job keeper, because the thing is, if the business starts, getting rid of directors, how that business won't succeed. It's to keep the business alive after winning software awards and stuff. So this is just silly to stop that business. If the government doesn't pay out that particular business, especially the AI business that have won industry awards that have been awarded by prime ministers and ministers in the past, it'd be very silly to get rid of a business like that. I don't see it going forward. But then I don't see the government paying out people and organisations for quite a lot of period of time, because once there's a deficit, you'll hear the word deficit again. And those that are old like myself, we're going to hear the word deficit again after recession. And curfews, it was cause of that, and military action, military law, martial law. These are things that I've lived through, and for those that say, "Oh, this is the the older generation had it worse than us," I don't think so this time. I think that my mum and dad had it rough, yes, but I think this current generation, like myself and my kids that are in their teens, I think we're going to have it rougher than their parents. So generation X, Y, Z, alpha and beta, possibly beta might recover, but a lot of those generations are just going to pretty much go on their backs. But what can we do as a human being, human race, as human beings? What do we do? Do we do a menu log and putting, food through the gate, and not going to really the shops and not going to parks and stuff. For one thing, we're going to deteriorate the way we live. So human life is getting pretty bad. I think if you're not mentally strong and if you haven't gone through, all sorts of different like mental illnesses and all that sort of stuff, and I think those that have it, or those that passed it, they're going to be stronger than those that didn't have it. Those that are going to get it, it's pretty bad. This is a reality. So you'll find that, like in the 20s and 30s, back in New York, people are probably going to go, shit, I'm a failure, and take their lives. Don't. Just don't. Because life will change. I just hope that, my teenagers and other teenagers out there and kids, I've taught well over 3,000 people in the past for Central Queensland University, for Peter Beattie, for a lot of different bosses. And, just, it's serious, the thing is, I'm always here, happy to talk to different people, happy to communicate. I studied media back at Sydney, back in Melbourne, Swinburne University, and we're doing like radio mixes and and websites and all sorts of things. I think the world has changed in the last 20 years, so 2 decades or so. And I think Sydney's been very good. I spent 2 decades in Melbourne, so you can tell I'm at 44 now. So I think that whether you go Sydney or Melbourne, they're pretty much the same. I am Victorian at heart, but I think worked for Queensland government, been a Royal Fellow, Society of Arts back in London. I've done it all, man. I've done the whole shebang. I've worked with everybody, millionaires, billionaires, everybody. People that are cleaners, everybody. We love the cleaners. They're helping us beat this freaking virus. But what can we do? It's very scary to, communicate to your kids and tell them what's going on. Especially when you know all this, public secret and private stuff. Stuff that I know secretly, I can't even share on this video. Public, obviously, private, even they got laws. So, anyway, this thing, I don't know. I don't see it going in the next 6 months. I think 6 months is really for those that are going, okay, 6 months, everything's going back to normal. I think this is another way for the government to sort of keep control of us. I know there's human conspiracy and all that sort of shit, but I have worked for governments and I've worked for DOD, and I know how these things fucking tick. So, I'm a pretty good guy out there. Got a good heart. There's some people out there, they're nasty bastards, and they'll profit from everything. I think, I've got a good moral compass. I know sometimes you've got to sort of, fight to survive. This is it. So I think some people are pretty much stressed out and stuff like that. There's so many things. I think we're doing pretty good here in the street, in our street. I spent between 5 and 7 cleaning up the bathroom and everything else. So just got to keep cleaning your rooms and everything, man. And take tea when you got to take tea, and take meals when you got to take meals. Don't skip anything, guys. Take your medicine. Take medicine for sunlight and all that sort of stuff. So for a lot of different things. Listen to your government. Listen to the media. Make sure you go out to shops and pharmacists. Take care, guys. I know it's 20 minutes, but what can you do, guys? But take care, and I'll catch you later, okay? Cheers, guys. Love you guys. Ciao. John. Hey.